So I'm here using watercolor journal from Zen Sangam. This is the reference painting that we're going to paint today, an aesthetic view. And I'm using Hemi gouache paints. Acrylics also we can use any of them, acrylics or gouache. Okay. So guys, I hope you are ready with the things. I mean, with your sketchbook and the set of paints. So first, we'll be starting with an outline. We'll draw an outline of this door and the outside lawn a bit. Okay, let's start with that. Just a rough sketch will do. Okay, I hope you guys are able to see. I hope the camera is set properly. Okay, so all we did is just a rough sketch of the door. Meanwhile, I'm just getting ready with the paints. Pink one for the door. Then this is the brown for the pots and the ground. So I'm just taking pink, light brown, dark brown, black. Some white. Let's finish the outer, the wall first. So a very light tint of brown, very light tint of brown with white. Okay. Let me mix the paint first. Yeah, this will do. I hope you guys are able to see the color here. Just it should look like off-white. Okay. So we're going to leave this part over here. I mean, we'll use black and green later. So just try to cover this part now. Okay. I hope you guys are able to follow. try to keep it as much as whitish as possible, just a very little tint of the brown. So make it as light as possible, as I said earlier. Okay, now we are done with this. So, okay. So once we are done with the wall around this, and we'll paint this earth over here. Let it be a little bit darker than what we have painted around now. Okay. So you can see this is a little bit darker shade compared to whatever we have painted the wall around the door. Just make sure that the wall around the door should be a little lighter shade and the earth a little darker. That's it. Nothing else. Okay. So all we're doing is first painting the complete, the complete background, and then we'll come to the door. That's what we're trying to do. So first layer is the wall around the door. Okay. And then the second layer is the earth, the ground outside the door. Okay. So once we are done with this, the fine details of these steps and the wall around here, these fine details will do in the end. Okay. Right now we are going to make the base layers first. Okay. Okay. So once this is done, Okay. Once this is done, let's try to make these plans around here. So I'm going to use black as the background first over here and this part. So try to follow that and use black and paint the sides over here and here. Okay. If you have any gap left, over here in the top, I have just left a little gap for the trees. So I'm just painting this off. So I'll cover my trees over here. Okay. So all we'll do is first we'll use the first layer of black for the trees, and then we'll start with the green leaves, and then in the end we'll go with the florals. Okay. Just randomly paint the backgrounds with black. Okay. Okay. So we are done with this layer now. So what all did we cover now is first we started with the wall around the door with a very lighter shade of white and brown. Then the ground in front of the door. Then um, we just gave the background for the plans over here and here. That's what we covered so far. Okay. Now let's make this ground over here, and then let's give an outline for this earthen pot, what we are seeing here. So I'm just mixing both the light and dark browns. Okay, this is for the um mud or whatever, the ground beneath the plants. And then here comes the part. I'm just using same lighter shade to make the, just one layer. Later on, we can use, black and a little brown to for the details. So for the first layer, just use whatever shade you had mixed earlier, a lighter shade, so that you can differentiate between the ground beneath, I mean, beside that and the spot. Okay, that is how we'll make the layer. So we are done with this. Now let's go and paint the door. So we'll be mixing a lot of white to this pink to get this color, whatever we're seeing here. I have another light pink, so I'm gonna use that. If you guys don't have this light pink, you can just mix white to this darker pink and make it a lighter shade, like how I'm doing it here. So once that is done, let's paint the door. Yeah, I hope you guys are able to follow. So the edges, yeah, I'm using a hog brush. You can use the rectangular brush or flat brushes, whatever you have. Just make sure you'll paint the edges carefully. Okay, so yeah, once we are done with the door, the background of the door, Now let's start with the details one by one. Okay. So what all we have done now is first the wall around the door. Okay, with a very light shade of brown and white, very like looks like an off-white. Then comes the ground in front of the earth. I mean, in front of the door. That is a little darker shade. Then we gave the background for the plants, black color. Then the mud beneath the plant, and then the earthen pot here. And then we painted the door pink. So now let's start with details one by one. So once the the painting dries, let's draw these lines. Okay. So what you're seeing here is the shadow of the leaves that we need to paint first, the shadow, and then over the shadow we need to draw the lines. So we can either go with the details on the door first, or we can start with the plants and the other details and then come back to the door. Okay. So let's start with the plants because these things are dried up. So let's start with the plants. Let's start painting the leaves now. Okay. So I'm going to use just a thin brush, not too thin, normal thin brush. And I'm going to use two shades of green, one dark green and one light green here. Okay. Now we'll start painting the leaves. Okay, I hope you're able to see, guys. Okay, so the darker shade of green I'm taking and making the leaves. You can use whichever two shades of green you have. Just random strokes for leaves here and there. This green is dark, so you're not able to see it. We'll use another layer which will be more visible, where the leaf will be more visible. So random strokes here and there. That's what I'm doing now. So once that layer is done, some other green that I have here, use any kind of greens, not necessarily one kind. Just make it look. So what I'm doing is three layers of green leaves that I'm painting here. One is the darkest, one is the second layer, uh, one is the darkest, second layer, and then I'll be using this in the end. So just mix it that way and make the leaves, okay? Use as a thin brush as possible so that So I'm done with the second layer too. Now we'll go for the third layer. That is the lightest green. You can use yellow if you don't have light green. That still looks good. Okay. Yeah, I hope you guys are able to follow this. Just random strokes for the leaves. Nothing in specific. Just free hand strokes. Okay, so I'm done with the leaves on the plants. Okay, so once you're done with the leaves, we'll focus on the other details. So I'm just using a very thin black brush to make some lines that is on the door, these lines, and the steps and the wall. This is what I'm going to cover now. Okay, just use black paint and white. A lot of white. You can also use a white pen if you have and draw these lines with scale. That's more easier. Looks like none of my white pens are working. So I'm just gonna use a paintbrush and make the lines. So we let it be white, and you can see there are two shades of lines here, white and gray. Okay, let's make the lines that way. If you're struggling to draw the straight lines, it's okay. Just use scale. So I'm not completely drawing the lines. So to make it look a bit realistic. Okay. I mean, you can see there's a thick line here, and then you can see that thinner line. So then the gray line. The same with the gray line. You don't need to completely draw the line, just here and there. Appear it, let it appear the like a line. Okay, that's what I've done now. I'm giving a outline to this door. Okay. Yeah, I struggle to draw straight lines too, guys. So I hope you guys are following. Okay, so we are done with the door now, almost done. So let's I'll paint that small handle here, just a small circle and a handle here. That's it. So we are almost done with the door. Okay. Now let's make the outer wall here. This is just an outline to show that there's a wall over here. Yeah. And then the steps. I hope you guys are able to follow. Okay. So this is what the outline for the door and steps that we have done. Now, now all we need to do is the shadow of the plants that we see over here, 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 and then on the door, and then these pots, and then the florals. Okay. So first, let's go with the pots. I'm gonna use that brown here to make the pot. You can draw a sketch with your pencil if required, and then paint it. That's what I've done with the pots here. Just random shapes of pots. Then we'll add the plants. Now you can use, no, before adding the plants, let's finish with the shadow on the, on the door. Okay. So again, for the shadow on the door, use a little darker pink than the wall. I mean, sorry, the door, and just make some random shapes here, just to make it look like a shadow. Just inside, that is on the door. Okay. So that's about the shadow that we have done. Okay. Post this, if you feel you need to add these lines on the doors again, just use the white and make these lines a little darker, the ones on the door. Okay. Okay. So we are done with this part. Now let's add the plants on for these pots, then the flowers, and then let's finish this earthen pot. Okay. So first let's add the plants. Use whatever greens you have and make the strokes. Yeah, the reason I urge to finish the door first is we are planting. I mean, we are painting the plans. I mean, the plans reach the door too, so that's the reason. Just some random strokes again for the plans. Yeah, I hope you guys are able to follow. Same thing. Use dark green, then use lighter shade of green. So I'm done with the plans over here and here. Now let's do the finishing of this earthen part. All right. So I'm making something like tiles on this pot, just random tiles this way. So just make some tiles on this earthen pot. So what I'm doing is I used a dark color and then I'm just finishing it off with a lighter shade of the same brown. Okay. Yeah, we are done with this pot now. So let's now paint flowers on the plants here and some leaves, floral petals which have fallen down. Okay. So again for the flowers, same pink. You can use two shades. First, use a darker shade and make the flowers, and then lighter shade just to highlight those flowers. We can do that. So as I said, just random, flowers here and there. You can do this as you wish and any color you want, orange, red, even purple, blue, anything. Just customize it however you want. I'm just using pink. So if you're not able to follow, it's still fine. This session would be recorded and will be uploaded in a week on the YouTube channel of Zen Sangam. and some petals here and there. Okay, so once we are done with these flowers, you can, as I said, use a little more lighter shade and highlight those flowers if needed. Else leave it just like that. So whenever we start painting, or whenever I start painting, I'll at least make the background layer first and then finish the other details. The background layer is important first. Yes, we are almost done. We can make a little a shadow of these bushes also using a little gray, almost whitish gray. Just random strokes again. So we are done with this. You can, over the steps over here, you can actually mix a little more gray and white and make it look like some, uh, you know, make it appear as a shadow. You can try that. That's the next level of customization. Just add some strokes here and there. So that's it, guys. We are done with the painting. I just will take a minute to show you the latest launches in Zen Sangam. So these spiral journals are the latest launches on Zen Sangam. You can find them on different sizes on the website. Just check out. Okay. These are acrylic sheets, canvas textured acrylic sheets. Uh, they're just amazing to paint, believe me. Just head to Zen Sangam and check out if you haven't yet. Okay, then. Thanks everyone for joining the session. I hope you learned something today. Thank you all.